Hey, what's up, traders? You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today is Monday, January 22nd, 2018. I'm going to make some stock picks here for the week, and I'm going to take you through on the charts. We'll look at the price action on them and where I think these things are going to be heading over the next 4 or 5 days. And then here at the end of the week, I'll do a recap on them, and we'll see, in fact, where I think the price action went, if I was correct on any of my calls here at the beginning of the week, and we'll take it from there. So getting started, just a trader's tip here. Mondays and Fridays, I tend not to try to be in trades. If I'm in a trade through the week, I'll usually try to get out on like a Friday at the very latest, because over the weekend, a lot of geopolitical tensions can take place. Central banks can make a lot of moves, and going into a new week, say like on a Monday, the stocks can drop in price drastically. Okay, or they can go against whatever decision you had made previous, and where you thought the price action was going to go, it can go completely against you. So I try not to be in trades or get into trades first thing on Monday or on Fridays, because you got the weekend in between there. So that's why when I'm looking at price action, I'm trying to get my stock picks on Monday and then watch the price action, say Tuesday through Friday, and give you a wrap-up video um, around like Thursday, maybe Friday, in regards to where the price went and if I was correct or incorrect on any of my calls. So looking at grow here, we had a peak, a lower trough, a lower peak, a higher trough. So we bounced off the weekly support. We had a lower peak, and then a lower trough, and another lower peak. So if you look at this, we had a lower peak, we had a higher peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, and I'm looking for, at the current moment, um, an equal trough, say around $3.68. And if it breaks that $3.68, and that would be my first level of support. If it breaks that, we're going to go lower, and the next level of support's around 286. Okay, so at the current moment, we could get another lower peak down here and a lower trough, and that's what I'm looking for. If we get that, then I think Grow is going to take a bounce off of the lower support down here around 286, and we'll get another higher peak from that. Okay, so if we look at the trend here, it could go down right into here, and then what I would be looking for is a bounce up, and we would get a higher peak somewhere in here if you look at my cursor. And when I say higher peak, it'd be a higher peak compared to the previous, and that is what I'm looking for, because that would give me my reversal, and we could start in with a higher trough as opposed to back down here. You get your higher trough around in here, and you start moving back up in price. So I'm watching it carefully. I would say by Thursday or Friday, the price on this is going to head down some more, especially because we're right there on the 368 level. I don't see, at the current moment, I don't see it bouncing off of this. If it does, then we're definitely probably going to get a higher peak, and then I'd be looking for my higher trough, and that could occur, Thursday, Friday time frame. At the current moment, though, if it breaks 368, it's going down, and from there, I would be looking for an entry somewhere, probably Monday, Tuesday of next week at $3.68. WSR. Now this one, I had a paper trade on with about $10,000. Would have gave me about 738 shares. I entered in right back here where this bluish square is. Now I got in a little bit early, and that was a mistake I made, because it did come down lower right around here in this lower trough, And right now, I would be at break even on this trade if I actually had money involved in it. Um, but if you look, we had a higher peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, a lower peak, okay, along with lower troughs. And then right in here, sometime this week, what I'm looking for would be a higher peak from this previous peak right here. So I'd be looking for a price action to go about 1407. If you hadn't, if you have not entered this trade yet, and then you were looking at making a trade, you'd want to get in right around in here on a higher trough for sure. Because if you had a higher peak and a higher trough compared to the previous, which would be a lower peak and a lower trough, you've got a power reversal and the price action is going to start heading up. All right, so that's what I'm looking at WSR doing over the next few days. It's going to go higher. I'm looking at a price of about 1408, and then it's going to start contracting and pulling back. Probably by Thursday or Friday, you could see this lower trough starting to form. And you bounce off that weekly support around $13.74. Let's go to AG real quick. AG is another one. I actually have money on the table on this one right now. And again, this one, I kind of made an early entry, just like I would have with WSR. And we had a higher peak, a lower trough, a lower peak, and then an equal trough right in here. Okay, and then the price went up, and that's what I was looking for on the equal trough because we were getting the power reversal. So I entered right here. I could have confirmed that and waited for the entry right here on this higher peak. As you can see, the channel, or I'm sorry, the higher trough. So I could have got in on this higher trough right here as opposed to the one back here. That would have been my confirmation for a good entry on a power reversal because now, as you can see, we got a black candlestick which represents upward price action on this chart. We're starting to get the price going back up, and from here, if I back out a little bit, you can see the upward channel. So we got a higher peak as opposed to the one back here, and we got a higher trough as opposed to the trough back here. Now I'm looking for the price action to start heading back up. So we'll watch that one. I'm guessing by Thursday, Friday time frame, you'll see the price closer to 754, to in between 748 and 754. WDDMF. This is a cannabis stock. This one, if you wanted to get like in and out quickly, and say sell by the next week or sell by Friday, the price on this looks like it's probably going to be heading higher. The reason why is you got a higher peak, lower trough, lower peak, and then a higher trough. So it's bouncing off the weekly support right here, and the price right now looks like it's gonna give us maybe a lower peak, but we'll still get a higher trough, I believe, right around the 206 level, and it's just going to continue bouncing on this weekly support. Okay, so you could see the price by Thursday or Friday, roughly around. I don't expect it to move too much. You could probably see it around like 226 to at its highest maybe 240. Okay, so if you had a substantial amount of money involved, um, I honestly I don't know if I would get in on this one yet. To be honest with you, I'd probably just hold out and wait and see what that price action does, because if it bounces along this weekly support here, and then we break resistance up here as it starts tightening, and we get a breakthrough 265, there's no resistance after that, which would push the price back down, is what I'm saying. So sky's the limit after the price breaks 265 on WDDMF. And at the current moment for the rest of this week, I suspect the price just to kind of go up and down and bounce off the weekly chart here. So I retract the statement of buying in on it. I would hold out and just wait and see where it goes. But overall, I think because we got a higher trough right here, the price action is upwards and it's heading higher. That's for WDDMF. The last one here is INSY. This is INSY Therapeutics. So we got a higher peak, then we got a lower peak, and you would have had a lower trough right in here, really close to where this peak is. I went ahead and I left that out just so it didn't clutter things up in here. But we had a higher peak and then a lower peak, as well as a lower trough, and then we would have had a lower trough from the trough back here on my where my cursor is, and then we had a higher peak. So I'm waiting for a higher trough on this one, as opposed to the trough back here at around 849. So with this one right now, because we got a higher peak, if we get that higher trough somewhere around like 905 to 897, that to me would signal an entry, and you could buy on this one, and ride that up to at least 1125 as the resistance. Because if you look back here at the weekly support, we're nowhere near touching the weekly support yet, and we're nowhere close. I mean, we're approaching from 985, we're approaching 801 as the first level of support. So we still have some room to drop here to go to this support level, but because we got this higher peak up here, um, and if it drops, I'm looking for that higher trough. If we get that, then I would suspect the price action on this is going to go higher, and you could get in around that higher trough, which I'm going to guess is probably around 897, 896. So we'll look for that higher trough through the week here, because that would probably form a higher trough sometime, I'm going to guess, Thursday or Friday. And if it heads higher than where it is right now, the lower trough might be a little bit higher as well. So we'll watch that one. I wouldn't buy in on it just yet. I would wait just to see if it forms that higher trough. Because guys, here's the thing: this price action right here could go up to 1125. Okay, it very well could do that. But then again, if you look at the stochastics down here, we're in oversold territory. It could go up a little bit and then bounce back down into oversold, and you can get more sell volume right in here. And if you look at my cursor where the volume's not very strong yet. I'm waiting for strong buy orders to come in. So if we get strong buy orders coming in tomorrow, that's good news. And if you were in this trade, I would be getting out up here at the top, because guess what? It's going to come back down, and then you're going to get this higher trough forming. So this one, I would just wait until you see a higher trough, and when you see a higher trough, go ahead and enter. But that's all my calls for this week. We'll come back and look at them here like on Thursday or Friday, and we'll see which ones I called correctly and which ones went against me, okay? Until then, guys, have a good day, have a good week, and remember, income is the outcome. I'll talk to you later.